Caleb, another huge road performance from the club tonight. I'll start by just letting you kind of give your thoughts on the overall performance from the group tonight.
Yeah, um, we're over the moon. We just beat the team that's top of the East, a team that's, putting up gaudy numbers of goals against teams, a team that's scored a lot of goals in the second half, and we shut them down. Sort of another clean sheet. That's three clean sheets in a row. That's three wins in a row. Um, my media guy Adam just told me that we tied the club record for least amount of goals conceded in the first 9 games in club history. Um, those are those are big things that you don't know how hard it is to defend as well as we're defending right now, and it takes organization, it takes a good mentality, it takes grit. I love, for me, the key moment in the match was when the fight kicked off and you just saw all our guys were in. You see how tight the unit is, and the unity and the mentality to protect each other. And I thought, you saw Mamadou's personality come out, and we weren't going to back down, and Brian and Tanner, and Ali, those guys are animals at the back, and their personalities starting to come out more and more. But it was a team win. It took everybody that started the game, and it took all the subs that came into the game. Even Max Urruti, who basically ran doggies for 5 straight minutes, to try to get the win, and that shows how much of a team guy he is. I thought Luca and Chonka came in and gave us a little spice in the match. Will Sands and Brandon locked it down for us. So the subs were key as well. And, for me, again, it was a team effort, and I'm super proud of the group. And, obviously Carlos finds, another special play for a goal as well.
We'll go to Frank Delapa next. Frank?
Hey, Caleb, talk about defense. What was the strategy for limiting Zaha and Ajay Mong for that matter?
Yeah, press and then drop. I felt we once we figured out, they pulled Ream low and created a 3-line there, and I felt early in the match we weren't getting enough pressure on Ream. It was too big a distance for Eli to go, and when he did go, it opened up Zaha, into spaces too much. So, we made the adjustment midway through the half, of kind of pulling Ganago over there on the right, and having Carles release on Previd, and having Leo take care of Melanda. So once we sorted that out, and obviously in the second half, it was even better. So I felt like we found the right balance between pressing high and disrupting them, but then if they broke it, dropping in and, closing all the dangerous spaces. They had some crosses, shots from distance, probably got fortunate on the header at the end. But other than that, I thought we shut them down, pretty well. So again, it's a great win on the road against the team that was sitting at the top of the East.
Next, we'll go to Caleb Pongratz and then Seth McCumber. Caleb?
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. I wanted to ask really about one of the substitutions you made. You subbed Will Sands in, and less than a minute after coming on the field, he goes out, gets a yellow card. Kind of just, how does that run through your mind when you make a sub and a player comes in and immediately makes an impact going into tackles and obviously looking to make a difference in the game?
Yeah, we're creating a real special environment where there's so much competition, and what ends up happening when you have competition is there's a real fight for the 11. You got to play well to be in the 11, and you got to play well in games and get results and perform in the games, or you don't stay in the 11. And then the group that comes into the game, there's a lot of tension for them to do well, because, especially when we're up a goal, right? None of those guys want to be the one that makes a mistake. And when you have players with a strong mentality, they don't, shrink in that moment. They grow, and for me, that's what I'm seeing right now. Whether it's Brandon By, whether it's Will Sands, we've consistently subbed those two guys in to lock the game down. And it'd be easy for those guys to, pout and be upset that they're not playing, and then go into the game and not have the right attitude. But we're getting the exact opposite. Luca Langoni's the same. Chonkalai, all these guys went into the game, and we don't win that game without the subs today.
We'll go to Seth and then back to Jeff Lemieux. Seth?
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the win. It feels like a little bit of a statement win. I'm not sure if you'd agree with that statement, but you've also won 4 out of 5. What is the turnaround happening? Was the formation, the Red Bulls win, the leadership council? What do you look at as the turnaround at this point?
For me, I use the analogy, I think it was a New York City game on the road, about how we needed to keep pounding the stone. As cheesy as that sounds, but I gave him the analogy of the stone cutter. He pounds the stone 100 times and no crack, but 101st time you hit it, it splits the stone. And for me, there were a lot of signs that we were on the right track the entire season, even though the results weren't there. So we just kept pounding the stone, and eventually it split. And I do think, though, we were aided by getting some players back for sure. Now all of a sudden the goals start to come. We were defending really well. You can't say we haven't defended well all season. So that's been a common thread. But now, we're getting more goals because we have a bit more quality. And also I think the formation change has just given us a little bit more in the boxes, and I, again, I think it's all down to the players. We could switch the formation, but if they don't play well in it, or if they don't work hard in it, if they don't buy into it, then it won't work. But I think what you're seeing is a real clear identity. We're going to be tough to play against every single game. We're going to be a good defensive team, and we're going to have a strong mentality. We're having a good unity, and we're going to find goals. It may not be 3, 4, maybe it's 1 or 2, but I am confident that we will find goals. And for sure, there are things to do better. Like, we're going to celebrate this. Obviously, it's a big win, but I told the guys on Tuesday, we get back to work. I feel like we can keep training even better and improving. There are a lot of things that I already have in my mind that areas we can improve in. I still think we're missing some crosses. I thought today at times 1v1 defending, we could have done better early in the game. Still think there are times where we can be cleaner with the ball and keep the ball a little bit more. So we'll keep focusing on the improvement as we hopefully keep collecting points.
We'll take one more question for Caleb. We'll go back to Jeff Lemieux.
Caleb, this was a little bit of a homecoming for Tanner Beeson. He's a North Carolina guy. First time he's ever played in Charlotte. Just what can you say about the job he's done with Wyatt going down, sliding in over the last 3 games, and really not missing a beat on that back line?
Yeah, I think, again, the formation change has really been what's allowed Tanner to go in and be comfortable and play that left side. Obviously, we're playing a 4. It's going to be Mamadou and Brian, but with the 3, we feel like now we've got a natural 3 line that's already built. We don't have to rotate into it. And we've got a left-footed player in that spot that can find passes. And, though Tanner's he's a MLS experienced American center back, that can talk, can read the game, knows the league, knows every stadium we play in. So it's really important, to kind of, and he speaks Spanish, so that's huge as well, because he can talk to Brian in Spanish or English, to Mama, so he's been real steady and done his job. Everybody's doing their job right now. Not to quote you guys know that quote, obviously, but everybody's doing their job really well right now.
Thank you very much, Caleb.
All right, thanks. Yep.